calling all sports fans and athletes. Have you ever longed for a place to converse about your passion for sports? Hang out, talk sports, meet athletes, and be heard. Sports Chat TV. And here's your host, Brooke Brown.
TV, everybody. We are live. It's Wednesday, June 13th, right? That's the date. I think I know what day it is. Anyway, we are going to be talking about some U.S. Open golf. Some golf, yes. Tomorrow we tee off at the Olympic Club. It's going to be huge. Huge matchups. We'll talk a little bit about that. But first, I have some awesome guests. It's a women golf hangout tonight, and they're going to introduce themselves and their familiarity with golf and sports, and then we'll get the show on the road. So first, Patricia, since it's your first time to Google Hangouts, and you'll get hooked like the rest of us, but since it's your first time, you can go first and introduce yourself.
I think so. Yes, I'm Patricia Hannigan, and this is the first time I've done a Google Hangout. I am a writer, an author. I write about golf and a lot of other things. Basically, I have a blog that I publish. I really write in every day. It's called Golf Girl's Diary. And I also have written a book, Golf Girl's Little Tartan Book, published by Stuart Tabori and Tang. And I do a lot of golf writing for various publications, as well as tons of copywriting and tons of ghostwriting, that type of thing. That's just what I do. And I also garden and live in a big Victorian home that was the home of a rather famous local golfer for 40 years before I lived here. So that's me, anyway, and happy to be in the Hangout.
Welcome aboard. Rae, you've been in my Hangouts before, but for the audience, the new audience out there, introduce yourself.
I'm Rae Ouzts, and I live in Reno, Nevada. I was a volunteer at the U.S. Open 2 years ago at Pebble Beach. I played the Olympic Club this time last year, so I'm familiar with what they're teeing up at tomorrow. And I just resigned from a job that I was at for a long time, and I'm looking forward to moving to Florida and playing the most awesome golf courses in the world. Having a good time with you, Brooke.
Sounds great. Welcome aboard. So actually, I'm going to cut to the chase because everybody's talking about this on ESPN. They're talking about it all over, Golf Channel, you name it. The matchup tomorrow between Tiger, Bubba, and all of them. I mean that's like the huge story right now is the matchups. So let's. What do you guys think of the big matchup, especially after Tiger's victory, recently?
Well, it's going to be Tiger, Phil, and Bubba teeing off together. So they're going to have quite a following. I'm sure the galleries are going to be huge. And I think that's really exciting. They always try to get quite creative with the pairing. I know Ricky Fowler is playing with Ryo Ishikawa. Those are two young guns who are very colorful, quite literally. And that should be fun to watch as well. But of course, it's the Tiger. I mean, everything is all about Tiger, and like it or not, that's where the excitement will be. At least, let's hope that it is a long kind of weekend with Tiger, because I just think it adds a lot of excitement to golf. Now, there are people with opposing opinions, but that's the way I look at it. I like to have them in the mix there. I think Rae feels the same way. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a picture of the guy we're talking about right next to her, so she might agree.
There is a picture of this guy from 2008. It's autographed even. It's number 2 of 100 from U.S. Open 2008. I played the Olympic Club last year at this time, and I cannot see logistically how they're going to have Phil, Tiger, Bubba going off in one group, 10,000 people following them with the parking and getting around that golf course. What about all the other guys that are playing, that are going on? I mean, Mike Davis said that it was a really good idea to put them together because they did it in Torrey Pines. And yes, who won? Tiger did.
Yeah.
But Olympic, from what I can see on TV, they've really put the grandstands up, but it's a tight golf course for fans.
Yeah.
Right.
It looks that way. The photographs I've seen make it look very narrow and kind of logistically difficult to accommodate galleries.
Well, my question is, okay, so you have the whole field of U.S. Open players who tee off before and after that group, right?
Yes.
And then imagine they're on 15, and the stroke difference between the three, and they're trying to sink it on 15, and the gallery goes nuts while somebody's teeing off at 16. How's that gonna what are the players geared up for the gallery being so excited and just how the game's gonna go, or do you think that they're just used to it by now and they're like whatever?
I think, it's a part of the dynamic of playing when you have popular players like Tiger. I think the other players are really used to that, and it can be distracting, and in fact it can play with their mind. I mean, it happened also when some of the greats like Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer were playing together, and one would hear the roar when I'm trying to remember the exact details, but someone would sink a putt, and you'd hear the roar, and you'd know that he got that putt, and that you would be maybe in line for a playoff or whatever. So it does definitely, I think it definitely affects the players.
Do you agree, Ray, that?
I think Tiger will do very well because he is used to 10,000 people around him, and I think Phil will. But who's going to have a lot of people around him is Bubba Watson.
Yeah.
And he's. I'm really happy he won the Masters. I think that shot, in that playoff was unbelievable for someone who has never taken the lessons. And we've had interactions with him, haven't we, Patricia, on Twitter? I have.
Oh, we have. He's really quite responsive to just about everyone who contacts him. He will have something to say, and I think that's great, and it's very authentic, at least as far as I can tell.
I actually had the privilege of meeting Bubba in January at a job. I was working for Barrett Jackson, and he bought the Dukes of Hazzard car, and I worked in the property room, so he came. He had to come through us before he could get his car released, and so he was just chatting with us. He's like the nicest dude. Like,
that's great trivia, Brooke. That's
great. So
it really is.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic. And then he had that great Masters, and he was just so grateful to win, and so elated, because it was that's exactly how he was. He was just chill when I met him, so it was awesome. Anyway, it was kind of ironic that right a couple months before that I had met him anyway. But
you must have been so happy to see him win that Masters just because of the connection.
Yeah. It was only a 5-minute conversation, but something I won't forget. But anyway,
no, you won't forget that, not at all.
Yeah.
So who else do you want to talk about, Brooke? I think that they're teeing off at 7:44 or 10:44 our time, Eastern time.
Yeah. Eastern time, it's about 10:44, I think, right?
Yes.
And
well, I'm actually
9.
Yeah. I'm actually curious about the 14-year-old phenom that's going to be playing, man. He is serious, and nobody really knows much about him, so I think he'll be kind of I like to call him the silent assassin of the, Open. You know what I'm saying? We can't expect some intense golf from him. Do you guys agree?
Definitely, and I think just the idea that he is the youngest who's ever played, it's going to have people thinking and people talking, and I think it's great. He certainly will have a lot of attention on him, but chances are he's the type that can handle it, because for a guy so young to be in the position he's in, I think it's pretty clear he must have been playing since he was in the womb, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's handling himself very well. And it's just a great story. I think it's just he'll remember it forever, no matter what. And I hope he goes on to great things. There's some great stories also with Casey Martin being in the field this week too.
Right. And what do you think? It's kind of interesting. The matches we talked about earlier, how you have Lefty and Tiger, and it's interesting now they're kind of like the older generation.
They sure
of
are.
Golf. I'm used to thinking of Arnold and Jack and all of them, but now you have all these younger players coming up. You have Rory McIlroy, who's played well. You've had, you name it.
Not lately, though. Rory's not playing well lately.
But, I mean, in the past, you know, he's proven himself in past, you know, matches.
You know, it's funny. It seems like such a short time ago that he won last year in the Master. I mean, in the U.S. Open. It just is crazy that it seems such a short time ago.
Right.
And yeah, he has been through quite a bit, including these past 3 cuts, the missed cuts or whatever, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, he certainly has the potential.
So, besides the main matchup that we're all going to be watching on, any of these other players are, you know, the field wide open? I mean, after we see first 2 rounds, do you think we'll see a difference in intensity within the U.S. Open? See who makes the cut, who doesn't make the cut? You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be accuracy a lot. A lot of accuracy. I like Steve Stricker. Someone like Steve Stricker. But this golf course is playing long. 17 and 18 are, when I saw those holes last year, I was afraid of them. And I got to hit from the ladies' tees. Those are some hard golf holes.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure, I don't remember if Tiger said this in his hangout, because he had just practiced there. But has there been quite a few changes since he's played there before?
Yes.
Because I know he's familiar with that course, playing that he played there a lot when he was at Stanford.
That's true. That is
So,
true.
Do you think he has a leg up on his matchup, or do you think it's just however he goes out there?
I think it's a West Coast game, and I think probably the West Coast guys that play on the bent grass and the Poana are going to do well, I would think. And it looks to be beautiful in San Francisco all week. I mean, if the wind blows, though, then you're going to have a whole different story. If it stays calm, the score will probably be under par.
Do you think Tiger's going to stick to his iron game, you know, in terms of driving, or do you think he's going to hit those long drives? Because he's seen more.
I can't imagine Tiger not going for it, you know. I think when push comes to shove, you will see some of those really dynamic drives from Tiger. Hopefully he will keep them under control. But
right.
Yeah, you know, that's what he's been attempting to do, really keep that control. So it'll be interesting to see if that's the strategy here.
So and he also seems like his short game that he was struggling on, as of lately, has improved a little bit. So if he can get back his mojo, so to speak, he might be, you know, the hardest one to beat, right?
But that's who he's got the best smile in sports. It's what everybody wants to see. They just want to see him. They don't care if I mean, that's great if he wins, granted, but they just want to see him on Sunday afternoon. You know, they want to see that smile.
Right.
And a couple of those shots, like that one, not 2 weeks ago,
yeah.
Those are, I mean, when Tiger makes a shot like that, it's really more exciting than anything else in golf at this particular moment. I think collectively, when you're talking about fans who aren't maybe avid golf fans, but casual fans, you really get them. My father, for example, who never really followed golf, he was very, very athletic, but golf just wasn't his sport. Tiger is what gets him to really be passionate about it, extremely passionate about it. So it goes from like 0 to like 500 degrees of when Tiger is playing. So that's, you know, pretty remarkable. I think it happens to a number of people.
So in terms of the matchups that we've already discussed, you think this will be heavily viewed as opposed to maybe a couple of weeks ago in terms of a great tournament to watch?
It seems like it will be.
This is going to be massive.
I can't imagine, you know, I guess there is quite a bit of competition. There are other sporting events going on this weekend, but I can't imagine, you know, people not tuning in for the Tiger factor, even peripheral fans, you know. And, you know, there are a lot of great players who I think hopefully will catch people's eyes as well, you know.
Right.
It would be nice.
But it's a huge field, and I was looking at the odds, and you can get Graham McDowell at 90-1. And he just won in Pebble Beach 2 years ago.
That sounds like a good bet, actually, right?
A dollar bet on a 90-1 shot. Graham McDowell, he just won 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
so yeah, he definitely has the potential, right?
I would think so, but I don't know what's happened to his game. Has he even won this year? No.
Yeah.
I don't think he has.
I read something about him struggling, so yeah, maybe it's not the best time to bet on him. But as you say, the odds are could be very good.
Tiger is 7-1. Actually, I have the odds up, and they're pretty. They're usually pretty good. They're accurate.
Yeah.
What do you guys make of the rumors about Phil retiring?
No chance.
You don't think he will?
Yeah.
No.
Other players playing so much longer, I can't see it happening either. I really can't. Phil tends to be the subject of many rumors, doesn't he?
He
Not
does.
as much as Tiger.
Yeah, that's true. A different type, perhaps.
Okay, Lee Westwood is 11-1. Luke Donald 11-1. Rory 18-1. Phil Mickelson 20-1. Those are some pretty good odds for
Yeah. For a betting person.
Well, I live in a gambling state, Nevada, so I can speak about it legally.
There you are.
Right.
There you are, yeah. Well, I think the Olympic Club will also be people are curious about it, and, it hosted a number of U.S. Opens in the past, and I was reading that the winners were always unexpected, sort of off the radar type,
Right.
All the past U.S. Open winners at Olympic have been off the radar.
Right.
And Lee Jansen won it in '98, right? Beat Payne Stewart.
Right.
And he's not even he didn't even qualify now. His 10-year exemption is up, so that's kind of sad.
It is. It's always sad to see that.
So as we look tomorrow for our tea, do we have any predictions or anything that we can look forward to this weekend? I mean, as we've discussed here,
well, the first 2 days are crucial. The first 2 days are crucial. We need to see how the course is playing, if the wind is blowing, how they're putting. I saw Mike Davis say that they shaved something on 17, on the right side of 17. Those two, 17 and 18, are hard holes, I think, to me. And it's going to be the galleries. I mean, I was a volunteer, and I gave up my position this year because I could not imagine 42,000 people packed onto that place.
Yeah, that's
they'll handle it. They'll handle it, but it's San Francisco, and it's a, metropolis.
It will definitely be quite challenging for the volunteers, won't it? Gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, that'll be 4 days, exhausting 4 days, I think.
Well, you won't see what's going on, but when I was at the U.S. Open in Pebble Beach, I mean, the galleries were so huge that you could not, they wouldn't show it. You can't see it on TV, how big they are. The galleries are just enormous and packed, and you can't move.
So that's going to be a big obstacle for the golfers.
I think for Thursday, Friday. I think I would, yeah.
Well, it should be really exciting, and just imagining all of those things, how the galleries are going to be reacting. It could be great.
Right.
Hopefully, people will tune in and enjoy it.
I agree. Well, I'd like to thank you both for joining me, and as you know, same good channel, same good time every week. You guys will be able to see this as you see my moniker down there, sportschat.tv, as soon as I can get it up there. And I would like to thank my guests for joining me, and it's going to be interesting in the morning to see how we all see our favorite golfers tee off. So I'd like to thank you all.
For winners?
Yeah. Let's make some predictions.
Who's going to win, Patricia?
Tiger, as far as I'm concerned, Tiger's in the field. I am with Tiger.
I know. So if he's not winning, I really like Steve Stricker. I mean, he really hits the ball well and putts well. But you know what? Phil has that one thing missing, a U.S. Open.
Exactly.
Or a British Open.
That's who I was going to choose. I was going to say Phil's going to actually do it. I think it's going to be a tight field between those three in the matchup, but
California guys.
yeah.
You know, I think it's going to be fun, and, you know, if you want to hook up and do another chat this weekend, Brooke, I know you're busy, but I'll probably do one. And, Patricia, maybe you'll be around. So thanks, Brooke, for having us.
All right, yes. It was great to have you, bud.
And you
have a good
something
evening, everybody.
tomorrow. Great.
Okay.
We're going to tune in tomorrow as well.
Yes.
Good night,
Have
everybody.
a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.